Hello, welcome to Three Crows Runes. My name is Jen. Let's do some rune readings. Today we are doing Janus readings and we are doing scattercasts. So what's that? So Janus is, of course, the god that January is named after, or Janus, I suppose. Janus. And this is the god with two faces, with one face looking back and one face looking forward. So that's what we're doing. We have 4 stacks of 2 cards each from the Aquarian deck, and each of these is going to be one card that looks back and one card that looks forward. And then I'm going to do a scattercast with the Elder Futhark on Hematite runes to bridge them, because you'll be in the middle, looking back and looking forward. So that's what we're doing. So feel into the card piles. One or more of these is going to have a message for you about what you're looking back at and what you're looking forward to and how you're going to bridge that. So feel into it. We have pile number 1, pile number 2, pile number 3, or pile number 4. I will put the timestamps in the description and I will see you at the readings. Bye. Hello, card pile number 1 people. So we're going to start with the top one is going to be looking back, and the bottom one is going to be looking forward. Okay, I'm deciding that now. No, that was basically what I had planned. So let's see what you're looking back at. Oh, this is upside down. We're not doing reversals. We're looking back at this, and we are looking forward at this. So it looks like in the past, what you've just been through, there were a lot of choices that you were making. Sometimes you didn't know what the outcome was going to be. Like, you would have these choices and you'd be like, man, this is like a blind choice. Other times it was a very clear thing where you knew you had to make a choice. You were standing at a crossroads and you knew that this was something that you needed to do. So it was like a choice made. Looking forward, it looks like you're looking forward to getting together with people and having a good time, which is really good. I hope that you do. So there's going to be a lot more socializing coming up in your what you're looking forward to in the future, in this moment. So let's get some. Oh man, how am I going to scatter these? Because there's not much room. I haven't given myself much room for this scattercast. Okay, let's see what we can do. Scattercasting, of course, with the Elder Futhark on Hematite. Okay, that was kind of a mess, but that's okay. Did this one fall upright? It did, and it fell before the card you were looking forward to. So that's interesting. I mean, that you were looking back at. So let's get all the runes up that were face down. Unfortunately, this means that the blank rune, whichever one that is, will also get picked up, but we're going to read the rest. Yeah, these were face down. Okay. So that's interesting. So there's your scattercast. Let me just turn them into the direction that they want to be. So that's this. This is going to be really neat because this one actually had the one that landed before the looking back. So that's kind of neat. Your central issue is, and I don't blame you for wanting to look forward to getting together with people because of what your central issue is. So hopefully things will get better with that. So your central issue for all of this is Vunyo reversed. Vunyo is the rune of joy. It looks like you may have reached a point just before now, but it has carried into the now, where you are feeling a bit discontented about things, and that's probably why you're leading towards looking forward to reconnecting with people that you have a common vibe with and that you can actually have some celebrations with. But yeah, your central issue, Vunyo reversed, where you're feeling a bit discontented. You're also seeking joy within, which it may sustain you for a little bit, but you're also going to want to seek joy from outside of yourself as well. Leading up to this, we have a few runes and the card, of course. So once again, we're looking back at this choice that you've made. Before that, it may have been a choice that you made in a situation where you've had to surrender. I'm going to read this a few ways. We have Uruz reversed. Uruz is the rune of the wild ox. This has to do with strength and health and also stubbornness. So since this is like below the central issue, I'm going to read these as what wasn't helping. So what wasn't really helping, first of all, is you maybe weren't feeling as strong as you would have liked to have felt. You maybe weren't feeling as healthy as you would like to have felt. And you may have felt like your groundedness, your ability to like dig in and be stubborn was perhaps removed from you at some point. It was things that may have been, like the rug may have been pulled out from under you. You may have been feeling like ungrounded and not with good footing. So you may have felt like you were forced into this choice, or that you made this choice under duress, or that you made this choice where you didn't really want to, but you felt forced to, that you had to give in and make this choice. So probably not a really good feeling for you looking back at this. At that point, you were worried about the journey ahead. Once you made this choice, you were like, I'm not going to say instant regret, but it kind of was, because we have Rhino, which is not even reversed, but it's on the lower line, which is a very positive rune in a negative spot, which is a worry about that thing. So once you made this choice, you were very immediately worried about it. You were like, this is not the path I wanted to take. This is not the direction I wanted to walk in my life. So at that point, you started to... This is still in the what isn't really helping zone, but it's sort of like it's getting closer to what is your path. So it's sort of like it didn't make things better, but you basically then were trying to take steps to sort of shape things the way that you wanted them to, sort of to force them. Oh, this is up here. I noticed this, and it's upside down, so maybe it's a hidden thing that's helping you. I'm just going to leave that. I'm not going to turn it just yet, but I'm going to read it just before I get to this one. So something that you were trying to do before you got to this point where you're feeling a bit discontented and you're looking within for a way, like for your joy, is we have Ingvaz, which is the rune of Ing, another name for Frey, so it's like a fertility god, so it'd be like active creation. So you've been working on things. It hasn't really been helping much, but it feels better than continuing with the journey as you chose it to be. So just before now, something did come up that is sort of helping you. And this is why I'm going to have to start doing scattercasts where I don't turn anything over. Yeah, so we have Fehu way up at the top here. It's almost the highest rune in the spread. It was turned over, so I'm going to read this as a hidden. A hidden help was you recognize, and you even if it's just subconsciously, you're recognizing your worth, and you're like, I'm worth more than this. I am worth more than this. And so at this point, you're like, no, okay, I'm not happy with this, and I'm going to do something now that is going to hopefully make things better. Everything after this rune is above it. Like everything else is what's helped. So you're moving, you were already starting to move forward in a good way. And especially since this subconscious realization that you are worth more than what all this has been, and that has led to your feelings of discontentment. So going forward from this moment, the first thing you're going to do is you're going to see sort of the path that you know that you need to take. And we have Ivaz, which is the rune of patience, slow growth, slow development, step by step. You are going to start taking steps on this path. It's not going to be right away. There's like a couple steps between now and that, but you are going to start taking things step by step. I think this time in between is probably you just going to be planning, like getting a really good idea solidified in your head of what, and your heart, of what you need to be doing. And at that point, then you're going to start to take those steps, step by step, with patience for yourself and others, and the situation around you. And you're going to start taking those steps. And what's going to help you at that point is that you're just going to let this expand on its own. You're going to let your focus open out. We have Kaunaz, which is the rune of the fire. It's the torch. It's basically something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze. And that's actually going to help you as you take your steps step by step. All of this is helping you, so I'm just going to continue to read it like this. Nothing else is really on the path, although these are slightly heightened path. And they are a little bit higher, so I'm going to read these as like slightly heightened path. At that point, the first things you're going to do that's going to help is, after you've started to expand your step by step and taking your steps to improve things, make things better for you, and maybe walk some of this back, is letting go of things that no longer serve you. This is Othala reversed. Othala reversed Othala is the home and the homeland, and reversed, it's letting go of things that no longer serve you. It's finding home within, and it's stepping outside of your comfort zone. Because even something unpleasant can be a comfort zone if you've done it long enough. So it's kind of like you got to let go of the things that aren't serving you. what really, really, really helps with that is we have Thurizaz, which is the rune of the challenge. It's the thorn, the giant, the gateway. So just basically really embracing this as your challenge, as Carolyn Casey would say, your beautiful, dangerous assignment, and moving forward with that. This is going to allow you to, and this is at the same time as you embrace your challenge, this is going to allow you to tap into your source energy and really start really accessing the things that give you energy and that give you nourishment and that always energize you whenever you do them. That's already helping you. That's your path line, but this is a little bit higher than this one. So it's going to help you, but it's also a step on your path, is basically focusing on the things that always help you, that always energize and nourish you. And that's what you're going to focus on while letting go of the things and after letting go of the things that no longer serve you, and seeing this as a challenge. The highest rune in the spread is also the last rune in the spread, just before you get to this point where you're going to be reconnecting with friends and those you care about and having a bit of a celebration, is that we have Avaz, which is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and spirit, and it's reversed. So it's in the highest spot, it's reversed. I'm going to read this as, first of all, you're not going to be running around as much. You're going to feel like you can actually rest. You can actually relax some. And any running around you're doing is going to be internal. So you're going to be doing a lot of internal work, but you're not going to be running yourself ragged anymore, which is really, really good. That's going to help you the most. The other thing this is reaching inward and really tapping into spirit, whatever spirit is for you. And this is going to be an internal thing where you're going to be really connecting with who you are on a spiritual level, whatever that is for you, and letting that lead, letting that carry you. And that will carry you all the way to what you're looking forward to, which is getting together with people for whom you care and having some celebration time. So there you go. Card pile number 1, people. That is your Janus scattercast, where you're looking back and looking forward and the path that bridges them. So there you go. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 2, people. So we're going to start by putting the card of what you're looking back at and what you're looking forward at in place. So we're going to start with the card that you're looking back at. You're looking back at judgment. So you heard and heeded a call in the past. What you're looking back at is what you heard and you heeded. So you were basically, you feel like you were called to do something and that you got on with. And it was like really important for your life. So things have probably changed quite a lot since this happened. What you're looking forward to is Queen of Cups. So where you're going to be a lot more comfortable with nurturing, being very much in control of, and not in control of, but like being very much nurturing expression of emotion, intuition, heart, creativity, that kind of thing. So, and perhaps in the city, because I always think her crown in this card looks like a city, but I don't know if you're in a city or not. We have the amethyst at her brow, though, and actually it's between her brow and her crown, so it's on her crown, so really connection with whatever you consider to be the divine, and then speaking that from the heart as an expression thing. I'm keeping these separate, really far apart, because the scattercast takes a lot more space than I think it will ever. So here we are, scattercast with the Hematite runes to bridge these. Okay, there we go. And let's pick up all the ones that turned upside down. This is going to include the blank rune, because I'm not sure which one that is if I can't see the rune on it. So I'm just going to pick that up, and we're not going to have a blank rune, but we are going to have all the cards, all the runes that went upright in this scattercast. Oop, tiddlywinks. You know what? I'm going to leave that because that fell and it fell upright. Like, put me here. Alrighty. And then I'm going to just turn these to the way that they want to be. This is the second time I've seen Vunyo in almost exactly that position, although that is not the central issue, I don't think. Is it? I don't think so. I'm thinking it's probably Avaz here. And that would make sense given the looking forward. Okay, Hagala's in your spot. Neat. Okay, this is really quite neat. So your central issue, I am going to choose Avaz as your central issue, and this is really your focus between these two things, looking back at being called and looking forward to being expressive in a very comfortably confident way, but is also in a very nurturing way, is we have Avaz. Avaz is the rune of the horse. This has to do with movement and spirit. It's kind of, it's really, this is sort of our path line here. So they sort of go above and below, but it's kind of like this, I'm going to sort of see this as our central, so our path line. Movement and spirit. So you're focused on really moving forward, but also moving forward, letting your spirit carry you, whatever that is for you. Because there's one right above it, which is what's going to help you, is basically it's similar to the judgment, where it's like hearing and heeding the call. You are heeding the call. So right now you are in the middle of these and you are on your quest, basically. We have Tivaz, which is Tyr's rune. Tyr's the warrior god. He also has to do with tending to duties and responsibilities, so that's going to help you as well. But really, I'm seeing this very much as picking up your sword or spear and just moving forward with this and letting your spirit carry you, because that's very important to you in this moment. I don't know if you can hear the wind today. The wind is really strong today. It's like making these howly noises at our window. Okay, after you heard the call, this is like the hero's journey, because the first thing you did was you questioned your worthiness of it. We have Fehu, which is the rune of wealth and worth, and it's low. It's like on the lower line. So it's what didn't help is when you questioned your worthiness. But then like a couple steps after that, you were like, okay, you know what? I'm going to do this, but I'm not going to necessarily be happy about it. You're on the path line now, so it's good, and it helped you because it's like almost at the same level, if not a little bit higher than your central issue. But we have Vunyo reversed, which is the rune of joy, and it's reversed. So it's sort of like, I'm going to do this, but I don't know if this is going to make me happy, and I don't know if I'm going to be happy about it, and I'm a little bit discontented that I'm sort of being called to do this because I had other plans, and etc. And there's even, just after you start doing it, there's this sense of, now I've gone and done it because I'm starting doing this thing and it's just going to get out of hand now, which would be a good thing if it's a good thing like this is. But anyway, it's like we get our comfort zones and then we don't want to leave them even if it's for something good. And but that's got a happy ending because of this. So anyway, so yeah, that's sort of where you were at just before you got to this point. You had a breakthrough, which is good. Like you actually realized that following this call is actually really, really good for you, because suddenly your entire field of vision is being illuminated. Suddenly you're getting like revelations about things. Suddenly you're feeling like the lights have been turned on. So once you finally sort of said, all right, fine, I'll do it, and you started doing it, suddenly things are like really good in spite of your worries and in spite of your feeling like resentment towards the obligation. You're actually suddenly like, wow, this is like really, really good, and I'm feeling really, really good. So then you sort of made this decision that, right, I'm going to do this. I'm going to let my spirit carry me. I'm going to drive forward. This is going to be my quest, and on I go. So that's good. So what happens after this moment where you are like, okay, this is good. This is a good quest to have. I'm driving forward. I'm going to be doing this, and I'm going to be taking care of myself as well, like taking care of my duties and responsibilities as well. These are going to go together. So this is slightly below. You're still carrying forward. You're letting your spirit carry you. But one of the things that isn't helping you is that there's going to be a sense of there's something that's going to feel like an impossible challenge, and that you're going to solve this by going, fine, I'm a force of nature too, and moving forward with that, and just letting this impossible feeling challenge also be in your mind like weather, that it's just something that's just blown in and made things a little bit difficult just now, but you're going to get past it, and you're going to get past it really, really neatly. So to clarify, almost right after this moment, there's going to be a feeling like, oh no, you're going to hit something that it's going to be like the storm. So we have Hagalaz, which is the hailstorm. This is basically chaos, things that are out of your control, forces of nature, things that are just basically going to blow in and be a little bit destructive. You're going to sort of see it coming because this is slightly before it. And you're going to go, oh no, this is going to be like too much for me. This is too hard. And if you think about it like that, then it is going to feel too hard. But it is, first of all, weather. It's something that isn't going to last forever. It's going to blow in. It's going to cause some ruckus. And it's going to be out of your control. And it's going to be annoying and a problem and probably hit you in the face with things. But you'll be okay. And one of the reasons you're going to be okay is you're going to be very much, in tune with your Tivas here. You're going to be able to take care of the things that need to be taken care of. We have Nauthies almost stepping in between these. It'll be like a little bit after this hits. So like suddenly you're going to have this anticipation of this extreme challenge that's going to come up. And then it's going to hit. It's not going to be a permanent thing, but it's going to be like, okay, here it is. And then as soon as it hits, you're going to have this moment of, oh no, but then you're going to be like, okay, wait a minute, no, I can take care of this. Like if it's, it's like suddenly something has blown in and knocked over the lawn chairs, you can go out and pick up the lawn chairs, or you can put them somewhere safe, kind of thing. So we have Nauthies, which is the root of need. It's not reversed. It's not an emergency. It's just like, you can take care of this. You've got this. This is something that is going to help you. Like this is like taking care of things is going to help you. Like you're going to be able to take care of things. You're going to be able to see what this has done, but then you're also going to be like, well, no, this is not fixable. This is totally fixable. I can work with this. I can fix this, even though this is out of my control. This is not making things unfixable. It's not the impossible challenge that I worried it was going to be. It's just going to be a minor inconvenience. So you're going to be able to take care of that. That's not going to be a problem. Then these two things happen almost at the same time, and they are both helping things. So here you are continuing on, letting your spirit carry you and moving forward and doing these things and just like on your quest. These two things are going to help you at the same time. So once you start taking care of things, you're going to feel like, oh yeah, so now I can just resume my journey, because we have Rytha, which is the journey rune, and you're going to be able to just resume your journey. And while you do this, suddenly, and this is the highest rune in the spread, so this is what's going to help you the most, you're going to realize what is opening up for you by having gotten through this moment. Like this moment of, that was potentially, if you'd let it could have just dragged you down and you would have been miserable about it. And it didn't, because you basically saw things that you could do, or you will see things that you can do that will allow you to resume your quest. And as you do this, things are going to open up for you. You're going to be able to see more of your path ahead of you. You're going to be able to see very, very nicely, like it's going to open up. It's going to be like you cast your lot, and your lot is going to fall on the wherever you're casting it at, and it's going to be good. And it's going to be like, oh, okay, well, that I will accept that fate. That is actually really good for me. That's good luck for me. So it's going to be very pleasant at that point. Now, what is going to happen at this point, and here's the last three runes of this particular spread before you get to this point where you're going to be creative and nurturing and caring and intuitive and all that good stuff with your emotions and speaking from the heart. There is going to be a brief flash where you're going to be worried about who's supporting you. You're supporting you perfectly well, but there's going to be a worry about, what about support? What if I need support? We have Alges, which is the rune of the elk. So there's going to be a little bit of worry about that, but then you're going to pull yourself back up and you're going to be like, you know what? Everybody's my support. I am in the place that I need to be in the world. I feel that I belong where I am, like in terms of not belong, but like I feel a sense of belonging where I am. I feel good. I feel like I am doing what I need to be doing in the world. And so that's not a problem. I can do that. I can have that. And just that, my doing that gives me the support that I need. And this will allow you to let go of the things that are no longer supporting you, the things are no longer supporting what you want to do, letting go of the things that are no longer serving you, as well as finding a sense of home within, as well as stepping outside of your comfort zone, which will allow you at last, after a couple steps, to become more confident in expressing your emotions, in expressing, what you're doing and what you're feeling, and having that connection with the divine, whatever the divine is for you, wherever you are located, and to be able to be expressive of that. So that's really neat. So that is card pile number 2. That is your reading. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 3 people. So we're going to start with the Janus reading by taking the card. This is the one that you're looking back at, and this is the one that you're looking forward to. Sorry, I thought I heard the cat, but the cat is probably sleeping still. So let's start by turning. This is the card that you're looking back at. You had just started out on something where you're looking back at the point where you started out on a new thing where you were going to be expressing your will, in the world, or having like expression in the world. And that's where you're looking back at. I always love this card. I want this outfit. But anyway, looking forward. And we have the Tower. So I don't know if you've been listening to my channel long enough to know that the Tower is one of my favorite cards of all. And the thing about the Tower is that it needs to fall. So it's something has been built up that has become unwieldy, that is just not going to be sustainable, and it needs to come down. And it's almost like this was your goal. Like, you are going out to express your will and like have expression in the world for something that is going to bring this down that needs to come down. So it's really, you're looking forward to really shaking things up in a very positive way for you. I am going to read this as. Let's see if the runes back me up. So let's have a little scattercast and bridge these. Okay, let's pick up all the card now. I just want to see if this is... It is the blank rune. I'm going to leave this one because it's right up against this, and it's like allowing. So it's like really exciting. So I'm picking up all the runes that have turned upside down. There's one touching the looking back one as well, and I think I'm going to read that as a hidden. Normally, I just pick up all the runes that fall face down in a scattercast, but lately I've been seeing these are all like being picked up. Lately, I've been sort of, when they fall in an interesting spot, I am more inclined. You are really focusing on your happiness, and you're like, you have been, and there's really only one thing between now and this shakeup that you were pushing towards. There's only like two things, and it's like, wow. So what's our hidden influence? Okay, that is good. So our hidden influence is you've really cast your lot with this. So hidden influence with what you're looking back at is that in doing this, you basically cast your lot. This is Perthos, the rune of, it's the lot box. So it's surprises and fate. But it's the fate that was always there. So you basically have taken this into your hands and you're like, I'm going to do this come what may, and it is going to be my fate. I am embracing this. I should start by talking about your central issue, which is like the last one here. So you've been really busy. Like, card pile number 3 people, you have been really busy up until this point, and you know where you're going and you know what you're doing, and this is your end goal. So when you picked this up, when you picked up your wand or your rod and you're like, I'm going to do this, this was you casting your lot. And your central issue right now, like where you're at right now, you're in a good place. You are feeling very much connected to joy in your life. You've gotten to the point where you're like, okay, we are on our way to making this happen. Whatever this is, it might not be like a earth-shattering, status quo-destroying thing. It may just be, the stagnation in your life that you're bringing down. It may just be, a mode of living that wasn't serving you. So anyway, we have a lot to talk about. So your central issue here is Vunyo. Vunyo is upright here, so it has to do with you're basically in a position where you're focusing on joy. You're letting your joy lead you, and you're pursuing that. So from the moment you cast in your lot with picking up your rod and moving forward to express your will in the world, there have been some things that have happened. This is pretty low, actually. So it may have been... Your original intent with this may not have been super, super helpful, but it has become super helpful. Like, you can see how these are all going higher up to the point where they are not only meeting but surpassing where where Vunyo is here. So everything above Vunyo is actually helping you. So it's almost like, I'm not saying that you started this with selfish reasons, but it's almost as though somebody who started something with not the best, most altruistic intent suddenly realized that they could use it for, non-selfish intent. It's like Henry Sugar. Was that his first name? The Henry Sugar story? Anyway, so wonderful story of Henry Sugar. That thing where he started out as like, I'm going to be rich. And then it ended up being like, I'm going to help people. So anyway, I've just spoiled the whole story. So I hope that sorry, Mr. Doll. Anyway, it's old if you haven't read it yet, but anyway, that's very good. So you cast in your lot, and right away, there are things that are helping you. Like there are things that are on your path line that are happening. So you cast in your lot and you moved quite quickly. And this wasn't necessarily like the best thing for you, but you did it. And at the same time you were moving forward quickly, suddenly you started to gain some confidence. And that sort of came together. It's like, no, you know what, I can do this and I can move it forward quickly. And now suddenly I am feeling very confident. We have Avaz, which is the horse, which is movement. And then we have Fehu reversed. So Fehu's wealth and worth, reversed its inner. So it's confidence, self-worth, self-esteem, that kind of thing. Suddenly you have this. And then things start moving up. Things start becoming better as you move forward. So the next thing that happens is you suddenly feel like I'm moving forward and I'm starting to worry about how this is going to be with other people. Like, how is this going to resonate with the other people around me? And what helps you with that is to become more open. You became more open with that. You expanded what you were doing and you expanded on your confidence and started opening out. We have Manas, which is the rune of humanity and your part in it, in the lower part. And then Kaunas, which is the rune of the torch and also the fire, and something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze. So it's like opening out. And that made things a little bit better. And you're like, okay. And then your next step, you really had a revelation that really, really helped you. Like, this is the highest rune in the spread. Suddenly you were worried about not being heard, and also worried about your expression, which is what you're doing. Suddenly you're like doubting. You're like, But then you're like, no, you know what? I am having this epiphany suddenly. And then this is basically helping that. It's like, wait a minute, maybe my expressing, I'm a little bit worried about it, but suddenly I can see very clearly, like my entire field of vision has been illuminated and things are being illuminated. And that was a key moment leading up until now. Like suddenly, like, whoa, what I'm doing, there's something more that this is doing in the world that I didn't expect when I set out. And then your next step, and you're almost at the path line here on both counts, like you're above and below it, like right there. First of all, there's a sense that things feel a little bit out of your control because suddenly you realize it's bigger than you, what you've been doing. And it feels like, oh my gosh, this is chaotic. This is a little bit out of my control. But at the same time, you go, you know what, though? I can see really clearly because of that epiphany, and I can take care of myself. I can stand up for myself with this because I think I really believe in what I'm doing now. And this leads to Vunyo, which is where you're at now, looking back, looking forward. And you're feeling really good. You're in a state of where you're actually letting your joy lead you, which is very exciting. Now you know what you want to do. Now you know where you want to go and what your plan is, and you feel like a lot of it's going to sort of write itself. But there's going to be a point about partway, like halfway between your feelings of joy now and this coming down that needs to. Is you're going to probably take some things into your hands. Not all of them, because a lot of it's going to play out quite naturally just by following what you've been doing, especially based on the epiphany that you had just before this, like a few steps before this, and then realizing you can take care of things even if things feel a bit out of control. You're able to stand up in it, and you're able to support yourself, and you're feeling really good. And so that itself, letting your joy lead you, is going to carry you forward quite a ways. There is going to be a point. We have Ingvaz here in the helping spot. Actually, it's not the highest one, and this is the highest one, but we'll get there. This is higher than that. This is the highest one before where you are now. This is the highest one after, and then this one's even higher just before we hit what is going to be a major change for you, but not necessarily a bad one in any way. So just basically letting your joy lead, moving forward, letting your joy lead you. About partway there, and this is going to help you the most, is you're going to get to the point where you're going to start editing what you've got. Like, it's not necessarily editing, but I'm just going to use that term. We have Ingvaz, which is Ing's rune. Ing is another name for Frey, and Frey is the fertility god. So this is basically active creation. So you're basically going to be working with what you have to control what you can to sort of shape things around you the way that you want them to be. So as you move forward, things are going to be writing themselves to a certain extent. Things are going to be playing out based on the momentum that you have created and based on you following and pursuing your joy and letting your joy lead you. About partway there, you're going to start to take things in hand and say, okay, you know what, this is good, but I can make it even better. I can bring this even closer to my vision of what I want to be. And then just before it happens, you're going to have a moment where you're going to just lift your hands up off the controls and just let like the divine guidance bring it to this point. We have the blank rune. It landed right up against this card, so it is like the last click of the roller coaster before the roller coaster goes down. So, and it's going to be like this, you're going to lift up your hands at that point, and it's going to like just happen, and things will be wonderfully, excitingly, thrillingly different after that point, but needfully so. So that card pile number 3, people, is your Janus reading. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye. Hello, card pile number 4, people. So we're going to start by taking these, and this is the card that you're looking back at, and this is the card that you're looking forward to. So let's look at what you're looking back at. You were looking back at 5 of Bronze. So you have had in your past some conflict, a lot of conflict of will, a lot of people wanting to express their will in a way that is not necessarily in alignment with the others, and you are amidst them going, come on, guys, we have to build this cabinet. We have to lay these the way that the IKEA thing says, and it's not working, and everybody stop arguing, please. So this is sort of where you're looking back at this situation where there was that conflict of wills. What are we looking forward to? We're looking forward to the star. This is great. So you're looking forward to a state of divine guidance, really. Like you're basically allowing yourself to be guided. So instead of like trying to force your will against other people who are also trying to force their will, you're looking forward to not having to do that. You're looking forward to allowing yourself to be guided. Not necessarily by one of these yahoos, but no, I'm sorry. If these were people that you love, then I'm sorry I called them a yahoo, but it's like, and then, but here you're like, no, you know what? I'm just going to let myself be guided, because I was as much a problem in this situation as everybody else was. But if I am letting myself be guided by something that I absolutely trust, like not in a yucky culty way, but in a pure, this is where I'm going to put my heart at way, and I'm going to let this guide me, that's good. So yes. So let's get the scattercast out and get some guidance, some further clarification from the runes. Okay. Now we're going to pick up all the runes that went face down. That one did not, so I'm going to leave that there, although there's a leaf over it. We're going to pick these up. Trying not to disturb the ones that did fall face up. You got a lot of face up, which is really good. Oh, unless this cluster is like all face down. And it is. This whole cluster is face down. Okay. Back into the bag they go. And now I'm going to turn all of these the way that they want to be. I think that's your central issue, actually. I'm going to read that as your central issue, I think. Or am I? Vunyo has shown up like almost in the middle of all of these readings, I think. You know, I think I am going to read that as your central issue, which is neat. Yeah, you know why? Because there's actually like a whole line here, which is pretty neat. So your central issue here is Hagalaz. Hagalaz is the rune of the hailstorm. This has to do with chaos and things that are out of your control and weather that has blown in and made things difficult. But just remembering that it is weather. It's not permanent. So this is a storm. It was not permanent. And here you are in the middle, and there's like a feeling of things are just like chaotic and stormy, but you know that it's not a permanent thing. And you know that it's not going to be something that lasts forever. It does feel chaotic, and it does feel like things are out of your control, though. So what is helping you in this moment? In this moment, what is helping you? Basically, you are going to rebirth yourself. You're looking deep inside you and incubating a new you. We have Barkana reversed. Barkana is the rune of the beginnings and birth. It's the birch tree. Reversed, it has to do with inner. So that's inner beginnings, inner birth. You are looking within and starting to incubate a new you, because this is how you're going to survive. It's like you're adapting to the way that things are right now, where it feels very stormy. There is also a situation which says to me that for some of you, this might have been family, because this can also refer to family. And when it's reversed, it can refer to sort of striking out on your own and saying, okay, but you know what? I'm going to sort of lovingly turn away from that dynamic so that I can rebirth myself and become somebody that I need to be. So for some of you, that might be going on. Good luck. All the best with that. So let's move back now. Oh, no, I didn't finish this. So in the central issue spot, your situation right now where you're at is you are feeling like you're in a bit of a storm, things that feel out of your control, things feel a little bit chaotic. It's like force of nature stuff happening, weather happening. What helps is you're going to turn inward. You're going to start incubating a new you. You're going to start rebirthing yourself. What isn't going to help is you are sort of worried about your place in the world, where you belong, sense of belonging, what other people are thinking about you. There's a hint that there might be some people pleasing that used to go on that you're no longer willing to do. So it's worrying you because you're not going to be able to make these people happy. We have Manas, which is in the lower line. So Manas is the rune of humanity and your part in it. It's in the lower line. It isn't reversed, but it is upright, and an upright positive rune in the lower line is generally a worry about that. So you are worried about what other people might think. However, this is your life. So you are rebirthing yourself. You are looking inward and sort of having a new inner beginning. So what led up to this point? So you're looking back at this conflict that was going on. And on your path line, there was this need for support. You really felt like you really needed some support, especially after this, where there was like very little in the way of support and everybody wanted to push their own will. So like a step or two after that, you're like, I have to find a situation where I have some support. And I think you did. I think you did find that. I think you moved to where you did have support. You moved away from this to a situation where you felt more supported. And this is not reversed. This is not inner support, although certainly you would have been giving yourself inner support. But it's upright, so it's like an outer system of support, whether this is people or a system or a group or something. Anyway, somewhere you left this and you basically found your support system. You may have had a little bit of problems with worrying about your emotions during that. That's your next step here. Like underneath, while you're with that, you sort of were afraid to like reveal maybe that you didn't want to get too emotional because maybe this got emotional and you didn't want to do that again because you didn't want to ruin things in the new situation. But you were able to put some closure on this. You were able to close that journey. So we have Raido reversed and what was helping you. Raido is the rune of the journey. Reversed, it's like putting a close on, like closing the chapter that you had. And then this allowed you, well, you're still a little bit worried about your happiness, but it's like closer to your path line. So like you were able to put some closure on this, not worry so much about your emotions, but you're really focusing on your happiness and you're like, am I happy? Am I happy? This led up to this point. So you basically were able to put closure on that, and then you're concerned about your happiness, but now you're at this point where you're feeling like things are a little bit out of your control, a little bit chaotic. You are rebirthing yourself. You're having a new beginning. You are a little bit worried about what other people may say. But here you are, you're rebirthing. Your next step, you may actually start to feel like what people are thinking about you is extremely important and an emergency, and this may make you feel like, oh, there's a rune down here. I forgot about that. I have to read that because this is really important. So your next step after this one is going to be very focused on, maybe it's going to become an emergency that you're going to feel like really, really compelled to people please. You're going to feel really, really compelled to sort of drop everything that you're doing. It's like, okay, I was just kidding about everything. I'm really sorry and please like me. That's not going to help you. And neither is the feelings of lack of worth that will come with that. You may feel like you're not worthy if people don't like you in general. But you have to become who you are. Like you have to allow yourself to become. But these are all things that are not helping you. What will help you though, as soon as you notice this is happening, take a deep breath and let yourself expand. Let yourself expand on the new you that you are becoming. Let yourself expand on you realizing that you too are a force of nature. And because this is between these two. So just let yourself expand. This is the torch. It's Kaunas. It's the fire. It's something that starts small like an ember and goes into a blaze. And you're letting this expand. All the good things that are helping you, open that out. Let that open out. Your Next step on the path line, which is almost on the path line. It's a little bit below. So you're going to have to be careful that it's not going to be something that, like, there's some of it is going to, basically what it's saying is some of this is going to be okay, some of it isn't. A lot of it isn't. Like, the tip of the iceberg is. So you're going to be compelled to try to shape things into the way that you want them to be, even if they're not that thing. So be very careful with that. Yes, you can take things, what you use what you can to control what you can't. Use what you have to control what you can. Definitely do some of that. But look how much of this is under the path line. So it's just like a little bit of it, just a little. Like, you can shape a little bit of it, because as long as you're being honest about it and letting these things expand, certainly, like, as long as you're being honest about it with yourself, do a little bit of that. Like, do a little bit of shaping and tweaking and editing to make sure things are that. But when it gets into the realm of making things something that they're not, that's when it's going to start not helping you. And then you're going to start to panic, because the lowest rune in the whole spread, we have Yira, which is the rune of the harvest, and also time. So you're going to start to panic. You're going to feel like, what do I have to show for this? I don't have anything to show for this. I have to do something, and I don't have any time in which to do this. So you're like, and you're just like, it's going to drag you right the heck down if you let it, and it'll make you even more frantic to try to shape things into what you want them to be, even if they're not that thing. And what you are having is really good. Like, you're becoming somebody new who you really truly are in a good way, and you are weathering this storm, and you are shining a light into it, and you're expanding into this, and it's really good. And yes, there's going to be a little bit of tweaking that you're going to be doing, but not everything. Leave some of it. And this is where I think you're going to learn. This all going on is where you're going to learn in this space that it's really best to let the good guide you, like to let things that are what you believe in and what you truly, and again, not in a culty way, but in a, like, what is true for me? What is true for me in my life and who I am becoming? And I'm going to let that be my guiding star, and I'm going to let that guide me as I move forward. And this is all going to teach you that. Like, this bit here where you're going to be struggling and panicking because you're going to feel compelled to try to make people like you, and that's not going to happen. And it's just like, Whereas you're the only one who has to really, really like you at this point, and being true to yourself. And you do have your support. You have your support system. You are very in a good place, and this is going to carry forward even past the storm. You're going to feel like you can have that. So this is good. You know, you're going to get to this point where you're going to feel more comfortable just letting yourself be guided by what is true for you. So that card pile number 4 people is your Janus reading. I wish you all the best with this, and I wish you a lovely day or evening. Take care till next time. Bye.